Hey everyone, Donna Q&A Thursdays with Simply Living Wellness, and today I brought my little friend with me. This is the closest thing I have to a skull, and I needed to show you where the pituitary gland is and the hypothalamus gland. And this is a skull that my son made in high school in a pottery class, and it's great because it shows the brain. And so the pituitary gland is right in the middle of the head, right at the base of the brain. Hypothalamus also sits right above it, I think, or right below it. They're very close together. Pituitary gland is about the size of a chickpea. And I'm going to set this down. So it's right in the middle of our head, right below our brain. And the reason I want to bring these two up today is because they are both basically the control center for the entire endocrine system. And it's kind of like, think of like a control tower at an airport. If you take out the control tower, there would be mayhem with all of the airplanes in the air and on the ground, and it controls everything. This pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, they work very closely together. The hypothalamus receives signals from the brain, and then it sends hormones to the pituitary gland, which then produces about 7 different hormones that all basically run the entire endocrine system in the body. So they control the reproductive system, the digestive system, nervous system, immune system, respiratory, lymphatic, just to name a few, the circulatory as well. And now I am no doctor, and I don't claim to be, and so if you have major health issues, you need to talk to your doctor. But I'm just sharing what I'm learning going through this detox that I've been through all year. And so what happens is when the pituitary gland is impacted because of cellular inflammation, it can't do its job. And so it can't produce these hormones properly. It can't regulate the other hormones in the body properly. So you get things like, and these are all control our mood, our body temperature, our heart rate, sex drive, hunger, sleep, thirst. Just about every function our body has is controlled by these hormones, which are put out and controlled by the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus gland. So if that falls apart, the whole body falls apart. Then you start getting bigger issues, bigger health issues, like cancer, because our immune system's not working properly, like neurological problems, neurological dysfunction, like dementia, like Alzheimer's. Dementia, Alzheimer's, there is no longer the old person's disease. Teenagers are getting them. Young people are getting it. And so many problems. I don't know about you, but when I was in grade school, I heard about one person, grade and high school, about one person that had died of cancer. And in college, I had heard about one person through my boyfriend's family. And, you know, today I hear about people getting cancer almost daily, it feels like. It's insane. Like, what is changing, right? Well, one of the things is that we are loaded with these neurotoxins, and it's affecting the hormonal system. And what happens is the toxins get into the cells, cause cellular inflammation, the cell membrane gets inflamed, the cell hormone receptors on the cell membrane cannot do their job, so they can't talk to the hormones in the body, and it affects this control system of the pituitary gland in our brain as well, and it can't do its job, and so the whole hormonal system just gets out of whack. We have all these issues that come up, like insomnia, like anxiety, like depression, like extra hunger or things like that. And hair loss, all kinds of problems. And then that leads to the bigger issues, because when those smaller issues are left for decades and not addressed, and maybe we address it with medications because that's what our doctor gives us, and that just makes everything even worse because the medications are killing our gut and causing even more problems. So it's just a horrible spiral we're in. But one of the things that we can do, which I'm doing this year, is detoxing from the neurotoxins that are in our cells. And you can't just do a juice fast or a cleanse or take some herbal binders like chlorella, because that's not strong enough and it's not pulling the toxins out of the cells. You have to get them out of the cells, and there's a buildup of these from decades of living in a toxic world. And it's not like we have to do this kind of detox every year. I mean, one major one that I'm doing is going to take care of decades, my whole previous life, basically 50 years of living in a toxic world. I eat clean now, and I'm really conscious of what I put in my body as well as on my body. But that doesn't take care of what's already in my cells from decades ago. So you have to get that stuff out, and then you can do a much lighter maintenance kind of detoxing over the rest of your life, as long as you pay attention to what you're putting in your mouth and on your body. So it really just takes one big detox to get in all those decades of buildup. And I just got my midway test results back yesterday, and the results were amazing. I've completely gotten rid of, let me just pull up my test here, completely got rid of arsenic, mercury, glyphosate, which were off the charts high, causing all kinds of problems. And those are back to normal levels, which is amazing. I still have barium and thallium, which are two heavy metals that I'm still having to detox. The barium is very high. That wasn't even showing before. So what happens is some of these metals hide behind the others, and the more prevalent ones come up in the test, but once you offload those, then the others can surface. But I'm well on my way to getting rid of all this. My mold is gone, my black mold, which produces mitotoxins as a byproduct, and that is highly toxic to the body. Not all molds are bad, but a certain kind of black mold, and there's some molds that are really toxic to us because of their byproducts, because of the mycotoxins that they produce. My parasite is gone, so that was great. So I am well on my way to getting all of this out of my cells. And back to the general cleansing, if you do this general fasting cleansing, juice cleanse, chlorella kind of binders, or even activated charcoal, it's not strong enough to pull it out of the cells, and it can make your symptoms worse, because what it does is it does stir up these toxins, and they are then floating around the body, but they're not really pulling them out, and you can get worse symptoms actually from doing those smaller cleanses. So I'm well on my way to being toxic free. Not all of my health issues are resolved yet, but many of them have resolved. My joint pain is significantly better, and it was really bad where I couldn't even open a jar. I used to get frequent colds, like I was constantly coming down with a cold or a flu, like monthly or even twice monthly. And this went on for decades, as long as, college pretty much. I was constantly getting sick, and that has completely resolved. I've gotten 2 colds this year since December, and it's now, what are we in? August. So that has completely resolved. I did catch those 2 colds this year, and they did not last long at all. I was able to shake them pretty quick, like after 2 days, and that was not normal for me. So my joint pain, my sleep is incredibly improved. I used to wake up like clockwork at 3 and couldn't go back to sleep. That is resolved. That rarely happens to me anymore. So the things that still need to balance out, oh, my thyroid is doing great from the testing I got. My cortisol, is still elevated, and that still has to heal. I still have this extra weight around my middle, more than I've ever had ever. In fact, I gained a little bit during this detox, and that is completely normal. The body is holding on to the fat because the fat cells are where these neurotoxins like to hide out in. And that is going to be the very last fall off. My doctor said about 4 more months of detoxing, not heavy detoxing, but I still am taking these binders and I'm support supplements as well. About 4 more months, and then I should be able to have all of that out of me. And then I'm going to be beginning a gut restore protocol, which is really going to help rebuild the gut. And then the gut can function normally, and then I can heal from these other things like the remaining joint pain and shedding that extra weight. And so I'm really excited to keep on this journey and to keep reporting back with you about how it's going. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to drop me a question, and I will answer it for you. So Donna signing off, Simply Living Wellness, every Thursday at noon Central. If you have any questions, I will answer them live.